Coming up on today's podcast, Ohio State, perennial powerhouse or just a playoff participant? Is the top three label still deserved or has the shine faded? Since 2002, only a handful of programs have mattered in college football, and Ohio State has always been one of them. National championships, Heisman finalists, NFL factories, the shoe packed every Saturday. But here's the uncomfortable truth heading into 2026. 4 straight losses to Michigan. So tonight, we asked the question that makes Buckeyes fans squirm. Is Ohio State still a top 3 program? And compared to the SEC, what is the Big Ten going to be doing? Today, I have Aaron Carmen with me, and I have Luke Cook with me, 2 fantastic people I'm going to talk to that have nothing to do with anything professional, so that's why you want to watch them and listen to them. As far as getting this thing going, we'll go ahead and go into opening statements. Luke, I know you had a bunch of things cooked up talking about why Ohio State is a top 3 program. Go ahead, give me a rundown of your top 5 programs and who you think your dark horse might be.
So, and I'm getting at this in the sense of looking at it in the way that the new NIL landscape is changing the landscape of college football. So, not what's been done the last 5 years, but looking at like over the next 10 years, what I think the top 5 programs will be. I think OSU is set up well, definitely top 3. Texas top 3, Oregon top 3, just because they actually have the donors. And like if you look at the SEC with Georgia and Bama and so on and so forth, they literally have car dealerships. They're not in big cities. They don't have that much money. I think the other top 5, I think USC has a dark horse chance. That USC, LA money, I think that's there. I don't know if they're ever going to figure out defense. That's a fun little mystery, but if they do, they got a chance.
So your top 3, just to recap, you have Ohio State, Texas, and Oregon as your top 3.
All big cities, a lot of money behind them, already doing well, recruiting like crazy.
Yes, I think those are the 3 most argument.
For sure.
Oregon has Nike backing them.
Yeah,
Texas
has up there.
Yeah. Well, Oregon got the unlimited NIL from Phil Knight. You see that from Nike? He said, spend as much of my money as you want. And how'd that go last Rose Bowl? Anyway, so I thought that was interesting because I would have considered like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State my top 3. I wouldn't have thrown Texas and Oregon there. But I like the way that you shaped it, talking about the landscape and moving forward and how this NIL affects everything. Because I hadn't considered that, but you are correct. I mean, Georgia is not a place that you necessarily want to go to for professional living. Alabama is not necessarily a place you want to do that. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. And your dark horse is USC, right?
USC dark horse. I'd also throw Notre Dame in there, man. They got that Catholic money. They have rich donors everywhere. I don't like them that much. I do love me some Marcus Freeman, but I think they're going to have some staying power, no doubt.
Heck
They got the power of the Pope behind them.
They really do. Yeah, new
touchdown.
Pope Chicago, shout out.
Touchdown Jesus. Yeah, we have not only a Chicago Pope, we have a Big Ten Pope, don't we? Didn't he go to Northwestern?
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
Crazy is that?
Joke on some Notre Dame boards. It's like he's from India, or he's from Chicago. You can't let him get out of your backyard and go outside of Notre Dame, yada yada. So they can do better recruiting for Popes, but outside of that, they're pretty strong.
And I'm pretty sure that Aaron also has Ohio State as a top 3 program. So
Absolutely.
What would you say?
I say it's probably going to be OSU. I think I agree with all the press, the power, the money. Texas is going to be back on top. And I think until Kirby Smart leaves, Georgia is always going to be a powerhouse.
I like how you guys both put Texas on top because I don't think they've necessarily been the same since Mac Brown left. And I know that was years ago. But when you think about the runs that they had with Vince Young and then Colt McCoy, I mean, Colt McCoy, obviously, my Browns 13-year backup or whatever that he did over there. But I think it's interesting to see since 2002 when you had that aspect of the Ohio State versus Texas games happening, you now have that coming back again 25 years later. And I think it's a really cool way to get this season started. As far as the first game goes, do you think that's going to affect the way you view this? Because I found it very interesting going into this first game. This is the first season that we've ever had a 1-2 in the first week happen in the history of NCAA football. On top of that, it is the first time that a 1-2 matchup week 1 would not immediately eliminate you from the national championship if you really want to think about it. So as far as that goes, is that going to affect? Does week 1 even have an effect anymore? Because surely in 2005, when we faced Vince Young and we lost week 2, sorry, that was a huge thing for the season. I remember Justin Zwick's career fell apart after that. So when we're talking about this,
too, man, remember Lima Swede going off, got a last-second catch against Jimmy Chuka. Like that was a very damn good game. But, yeah.
That was a fantastic game. I think we're going to have the same thing this year. I think it's going to be a close game. We'll talk more about predictions as far as the season goes later. But what do you guys think as far as the first game goes? Will it have an effect on the morale or anything? Because we saw Ohio State lose to Michigan, then go on that run. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, you had to remind me of that day. It was terrible. I don't know. I think it's a litmus test more than anything. And like you said, we can get into predictions later, but I think it's more of a litmus test to like see how we stack up against these guys. I think it's going to be some bad blood. Like nobody likes being kicked out of the playoffs on the highest stage in a very close game. We act like we blew them out. Like, no, it was a very close game, man. So yeah, I think it's two of the most talented rosters. I think it does matter more so for pride and as a litmus test, but I don't think it's a make or break type of deal. That said, kind of my own counter argument to that. We do have Penn State, who's going to be another top 5 matchup. That team up north could be top 15. Who knows? I hope they're dog shit, but they could be good. We have a lot of tough games, so like we could drop a field. So who knows? New quarterback, it does matter to a degree.
Before Aaron starts, I want to mention the new quarterback thing. Before we get into it, before I let Aaron respond, I need to know. I saw today, I expected Julian Sand to be the starter no matter what, and now we're talking about, I hate saying this word, a quarterback battle. Do you think Julian Sayan's going to start that week 1, Luke?
I'm curious on how much of this is kind of manufactured. What I mean for that, like, it's the common head coach practice of let's not let them know who the QB is, so they have to do a bunch of, tape recording from, doing scouting from high school on both guys, right? So like kind of a diversion tactic. So to me, I feel like it's going to be Julian, but who knows? Maybe Lincoln Keinholz is actually good. Maybe there is a legitimate, controversy. I'm not really sure, but gut says Julian. Probably Ryan Day just trying to, throw a wrench into Texas plans, but who knows?
I agree with the smoke screen. That's my personal opinion. But now that I've gotten that answer, Aaron, what do you think about the first week? Do you think it's a litmus test, like Luke has said, or do you think that it has bigger implications, especially because, like I said, we just brought up a quarterback battle. What happens if Julian Sand goes out there and we lose 35-7 and he throws 3 picks? So I'm interested to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the least this matchup ever could have mattered. I think it still matters a lot, but any other season, this is a make or break for the season, even in the 14 playoff. But now we can drop this game, and God forbid, arguably, we could drop Michigan and still make playoffs. So it is a really tough field to decipher right now. I think the biggest issue at hand, 1, we have to see if Arch Manning's the real deal, and 2, we have to see which one of our quarterbacks comes out. And if Julian Sand doesn't perform, everything gets murkier. We have no idea who's leading this team. Could be a CJ Stroud situation where comes out, throws a stinker for his first game, they bench him for another, and then he comes back and is a Heisman candidate. So it's really hard to tell. In one way, it's great. Has the lowest stakes possible for our young team. We lost so many seniors last year. This is a great chance for them to come out in the biggest stage and prove themselves. But on the other hand, if they don't have that weight on them, how do we know that they're going to come out guns blazing?
Yeah. And to your point there, Aaron, so I was actually at that first game that was at Minnesota. Went with a few buddies. Great time. Obviously would have liked us to win them by more, but we literally are the worst fan base as far as it goes for overreactions, man. Like my dad and my brother both texted me the entire game, like, get him out. He's terrible. I'm like, dude, he's 19. It's his first game. We're on the road and we won the game. Like, kindly calm down. So like we are unbearable there. And truthfully, like in this upcoming Texas game, I think it's going to be a lot more low scoring than people think. It's 2 new quarterbacks. Everyone's acting like Arch Manning is this. Well, like Paul Finnbaum, for example, said that he is the best Cam Newton. I'm like, bro, he hasn't played a game. Or he said since Tim Tebow or someone just outrageous. I'm like, dude, he's played 3 games against like some D1 AA school, a terrible Mississippi State team, and someone else had decent stats. against awful competition. We cannot anoint him king yet. And they're both good defenses returning a lot of talent. So I think it's going to be low scoring. But yeah, like we said, like we all need to pump the brakes. If Sane comes out and doesn't have his best game, it's literally against one of the top 3 most talented defenses in the nation. Let's take a breath, you know?
Yeah, I had it going 24-21, I think, in my schedule prediction. I'll go check that later when we talk about schedule predictions for the year. I think that's segment 6. But Aaron, you brought up something that me and Luke both scoffed at, which is the idea that we might lose to Michigan again. And that is something that you have to bring up, obviously, especially with the mental state of Ryan Day and talk. I mean, he compared losing to Michigan to his dad's death. I mean, that he's taken it heavy. And I felt I really got on Ryan Day's side when he said that, because as much hate as he faced all the time, I really could understand where he was coming from, and he shouldn't be thinking in that aspect. But I wanted to ask, if we lose to Texas and we lose to Michigan, you said you think that we could make the playoffs. If we lose to Texas, we beat Penn State, we beat everybody else through the season, and then we lose the last game, we bookend the season with losses. Do you think that we make the playoff? And if so, do you think that is a good thing or a bad thing? Because if we do this, we're going to be a 5 through 9 seed, and we're going to get another home game at the Horseshoe. And I think that played a huge part in our championship last year. So, first of all, do you think we would make the playoffs if we lost those 2 games? I mean, partially because we're Ohio State. We tend to make the playoffs and everything. And second, do you think that could be another catalyst for another playoff run? So it might not even be a bad thing if that happens, Aaron?
Yeah, I think it depends on the rest of the field. If it's another year with a lot of parity, which I think it might be because of just how NIL is working, the transfer portal, this is a different college football than we grew up watching. I think there's a good chance that there's a lot more parity across the NCAA and a lot more opportunity for a powerhouse like OSU to get in, even if we do have 2 losses. I think it isn't necessarily good if we come in as a low seed, though, because when we came in and had that gauntlet to get through to the national championship, while we came out, played an amazing game against Tennessee, and we were ready to go versus an Oregon team that was sitting for a week. That week still, I don't know how much of a difference it made. They only had 1 extra week of rest than we did. A lot of players came back healthier. I think we were in the mindset that it was national championship or bust. It was the final year for so many players on our team, and we won't have that same energy going into this finals or into this postseason. So I think it's really up in the air. I think there's a good chance that if we drop both games, we could make playoffs, but it would be a much more comfortable situation if we didn't.
Yeah. What do you think, Luke?
I'd echo a similar sentiment. Like, if you look at our schedule, we also, assuming, let's just say we lose those 2 games. I didn't scoff with the notion I win instead. All right, it's a realistic possibility. I just hate to think about it. But let's say that we lose those 2 games, right? That still would mean that we beat Penn State, what is almost guaranteed to be a top 5 team this year. They return pretty much everyone. I'm not going to get into Aller. I don't think he's that good, but still going to be a top
Trash.
Trash.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Dude, all the tangible, big rocket arm, this, that, the other. I'm like, he's bad at football, dude. Like, that's
Have
the
you
thing
guys-
that matters.
Have you guys heard of Brock Osweiler?
Yeah,
The lights are too bright.
yeah. Like, listen, brother, I understand the allure, but we're forcing it here. So
You understand the
That's,
allure?
that said,
Oh,
they are.
God.
and
Oh, no. The Alar. Oh, no.
That
I'm going to
said,
pour
their
myself something
defense is
for that.
amazing, and all he has to do is hand the ball off to their 2 running backs. Was it Katron Allen, someone else who's also a monster. Like I said, their defense is always great. So that'll be a top 5 win, assuming we win that game. That would also mean that we would have beat Illinois, who returns 18 of their starters from like a 9-win team, who also went in. Who was it that they beat? Was it Missouri in their bowl game? Everyone said they're going to get blown out, and then they just went like double tight end, jammed it down their throat every damn play until they won the game.
Big Ten football.
2 things,
yeah.
Big Ten football, good win against a garbage SEC team. And second, Luke pulling out 18 starters coming back for Illinois. What a fantastic stat grab.
That's living in Chicago for you.
That's right. Honestly, it's not even a Chicago thing. Like, we don't really care about Illinois. It's not that big of a football city, if I'm being honest with you. It's just Bears, and it's a sad place to be in that regard. So, but no, I mean, that would also mean we beat Wisconsin, which I don't know if they're going to be good or not. Hopefully, Fickle can figure it out for them at some point. But they're always kind of a sleeping nuisance of a team. So, like, yes, even losing those 2 games, I would imagine we're still no lower than a 6 or 7 seed, honestly. And also, to mention Aaron's point earlier, there is more parity. It's more of an even playing ground now that everyone's allowed to play players, not just the SEC. Looking at you, SEC. Everyone can do it now. So, like, yes, there will be more 2-loss teams and less undefeated teams, for sure.
So we've made pretty much just cases for Ohio State being a top 3 program, which makes sense because we are Ohio State fans. And going along those lines, obviously, our recruiting classes are still in the top 5 consistently. I don't know if they're ever going to leave there. Look at the wide receivers, look at the cornerbacks, look at the running backs, look at the quarterbacks that we're getting. The NFL draft presence. I mean, you have Emeka Egbuka going out there, and Baker Mayfield's already talking like he's the best wide receiver on the team. The facilities, when you talk about the horseshoe, you talk about the Woody, you talk about everything we have. The fan base, which can be super detrimental and annoying at times, but also is a super big plus when they're supporting you. NIL momentum, obviously, we have tons of money to pay people for. And Jeremiah Smith joked that he's never leaving Ohio State. He's here for the ships, and I'm glad about that. And obviously, playoff appearances on record since 2020. We're just a team that's going to be back there again and again. So obviously, we've all made the case for us being in the top 3. We don't necessarily need to go over all of that. Now, I want to ask if OSU is in the top 3, who that actually is. Obviously, Luke, I know yours is going to be Texas, Oregon, and Ohio State. Aaron, what's your top 3?
I thought I'd said Texas and Georgia.
That's what I thought you said. I just didn't want to misquote you. And I was actually going Georgia, Alabama, believe it or not. But listening to you guys, Texas, I could go Texas, Georgia. I could go Texas, Oregon. You guys have made a lot of solid points on that. But when we talk about the case against it, obviously Michigan's beaten us 4 times in a row. We've shown inability to close in the playoffs. Obviously, we won last year, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily something that's going to continue on. It could just be a break from the trend, unfortunately. The SEC physically has been outmatching OSU in the trenches when they play them, except last year when we had that run. And the one thing I want to ask is, do you think this is the beginning of the peak for Ryan Day, or do you think he peaked last season? Luke, go ahead.
It's a good question. I think that everything logically says it's the beginning of an upward trajectory. As far as, like you said, like the new NIL landscape favors us. You know, we actually have a bunch of donors. We're in one of the top 15 cities in the nation, which people don't really realize about Columbus. I think everything about it says upward trajectory, and he has been consistent here. The real asterisk, like you said, is losing to that team up north consistently, which hurts my entire soul. Maybe it was a 1-year thing. You can make that argument because it was an incredibly talented, incredibly senior-led team and a bunch of seniors that didn't have to come back. On the downside, so we are losing a lot of that, right? And we also have been very cautious with our NIL, even though everyone said we're a $20 million roster ball championship last year. We were literally 4th overall in how much money was spent. So that was a nonsensical entire theory. It was a false narrative. We're being very careful with our NIL money right now, in the sense that like there are ambiguous rules, and we're trying not to break any ambiguous rules, and that has led us to losing out on a lot of bidding wars for elite defensive end edge rushing talent in this most recent recruiting class. And that's you can't win a national title without elite pass rushers. You just can't. Like that's what we were missing in the 2018, 2019, or 2017, 2018 years, where our best rusher was Tyquan Lewis. The guy was solid, but that shouldn't be your top guy, you know? So, like, there are concerns there. And, of course, there's concerns with that team up north struggles. But I would lean towards more likely to get at least one more natty in the next 5 years, as opposed to not getting one within the next, 5 or 10 years.
All right. On that note, I want to go over under 1.5 championships in the next 5 years. Luke, you go, then Aaron, you go.
I mean, that's 2 natty. Okay, that would mean 3 natties in 6 years. That's
no. Over under 1.5. So
I know, but if I'm going to go
including this one
in the next, does that include this last one?
No, it does not. So in the next 5 years, 2026 through 2031.
That's what that means is that within the last 6 years, right? So this last year and then the next 5, that would expect us to win 3 natties if I'm going to say over. And that is an incredible feat. And I hope to God it happens. But I do think it's a feasible possibility. but I would probably hit the under on that. I think we win
The
one.
reason I ask is you just said this is the beginning of the Ryan Day peak, just like the Saban peak. And when Saban started his
but
peak,
you can't just compare it just like the Saban peak, like the biggest peak of all time in all of college football history. Like that's not a fair parameter to be like.
Is it though? Is it? No, but think about it. Is it? Because what I'm asking is, does Ryan Day have the potential to be a Nick Saban in your mind?
Potential, sure, but I'm not going to sit there and predict it, man. That's a once in a generation thing.
So you're going under with the possibility still allowed for it happening. Aaron, what do you think?
Correct.
I think my hopes are over, but I think it's going to be under. I disagree that this is his peak. I think it has been his peak. We've been in the playoffs since the playoffs started. What, we've missed 2-3 years of playoff play? Like, we are a perennial team just like Georgia or Alabama has been. And we're not talking about what's Kirby's peak or what was Saban's peak or anything. Like, we're witnessing it. This is greatness. We just expect so much more as OSU. We want a natty every year. We have the potential every year to have a natty. I hope it's over. I think it's going to be under. I think I'll be ecstatic if we get it this year. I don't expect that. I think that veteran leadership is what really helped any faults that Ryan Day had. I think it was the veteran leadership on the team that covered him.
I get that. And I also think Notre Dame's going to get one within the next 5 years. Like Marcus Freeman's just too damn good. Solid coach. They're so gritty. They have the NIL money. They have the recruitment. Like I think Notre Dame finally gets one. I do. I don't know if that's
honestly, as much as I love Ryan Day, however long his tenure is with us, once he's gone, Marcus Freeman, dude, get a Buckeye back home.
Yeah, him coaching next to his old boys with Laurinaitis and Heartline, like, please, like that is 12-year-old me's dream, dude. So yes, by all means.
All right, everybody watching, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna make a prediction against theirs. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking on this. I'm being a homer on this take because I need a hot take to go with, and I need a time and date to look back on from the first podcast where I make a hot take and we see how it goes. So, on that line, here's my logic that I'm following. We won the national championship last year. We had the best team we could ever have to do it. This year, I think it's wide open. We don't know what Arch Manning is yet. We don't know what Dante Moore is yet. We don't know what any of these people are yet. And here's my key thing. We have 2 players I need you guys to think about. 1, for me, Julian Sayin, and 2, Jeremiah Smith. And then we have a bunch of young backs that are freshmen and sophomores. Why I'm bringing this up is because we will have them for the next 2 years guaranteed. So if we win the championship this year, who is going to stop us next year? It's absolutely nobody. And we're going to have the top 2 picks in the draft. Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith will go 1 and 2 if that happens. So I am calling August 6, 2025 at 6:44 p.m. Central Standard Time that Ohio State is going to three-peat.
Damn.
That is the most homer take I've ever fucking heard.
You know, we're just going to 7-peat now that I think of it.
No.
How old's Ryan Day?
No, we will not.
I think we got 22 years left, dude.
We have the perfect opportunity. No, and if you want me to take it one further, we three-peat, and Ryan Day takes a job in the NFL, and then we can hire Marcus Smith for you guys.
Marcus Freeman.
Who cares? He's a coach in Notre Dame.
I do. We're not disrespecting Marcus Freeman. I want to tell him to his face, you're a beautiful man, and I hope you come. Honestly.
You hope he... Yeah.
I'm going to make him come.
He's going to come.
Oh, shit, man.
I don't know if he's blazing. I hope he is. And I want that for him.
Yeah, he is blazing. And he's our special little boy, and we want him eventually. But just wait your turn. Yeah.
So, again, I'll see y'all in 2028 when we got 3 rings on our fingers in the last 3 years. It's going to be a fantastic thing. And to be honest, if that does happen, I do hope Ryan Day sticks around because I'd rather have him be Saban for the next 20 fucking years because he's young and he wants to do it than go to the NFL and try to do what Saban did. To be fair, I will admit Nick Saban got shot right in the dick when he went to the NFL because he told the Dolphins he wanted Drew Brees and they said, nope, he's garbage. We're not going to sign him. His shoulder's never going to recover. Yeah, they said his shoulder's not going to recover. He didn't.
Also, he was 5'10", dude. I mean, that's fair.
Don't talk shit about Drew. Well, actually, yeah, never mind. Don't talk shit about Drew.
He's from Purdue. He was 5'10". He wasn't supposed to be that good.
Like, objectively, it makes sense why you wouldn't want him. But guy fucks. It's fine.
Listen, he also was running the offense that led to LT's record-setting season. So a lot of people forget about that. They brought in Phillip Rivers the next year, which I think is incredible that they just dropped Drew Brees like that. But when you have Phillip Rivers, Phillip Rivers, you got to realize when you take in Phillip Rivers, you have the potential to start a Manning system because he's got 72 kids. You know, like one of them's going to be coming up as a quarterback eventually, right?
Chances are one's going to have talent. You know, Polo's just firing, dude. He's accurate in every way. Whatever he throws, dude.
Straight to the egg. They're short passes,
hey, dude.
but
fucking darts, dude.
So for the next segment, the 2026 season, we've talked about previewing it as a litmus test. We've already talked about the Texas game starting off. As far as the other games go, I don't think we need to talk about many other games because we've talked about Texas, we have talked about Michigan, we have talked about the playoffs. So as far as the litmus test goes, I think there are two games that we need to discuss when it comes to the regular season. We obviously need to talk about Penn State, and I think we need to talk about Wisconsin. And I only think Wisconsin because they're a sleeper. I think they're going to have at least one, maybe two or three losses by the time they face us, and they could be our new Purdue with the way they're acting. So what do you guys think about Penn State and Wisconsin this year?
I'll say for Wisconsin, I think Fickell's a good coach and he's going to figure it out, but they have one of the toughest 4-game stretches of any football team in this entire nation. I want to say it was I think they go from Bama to that team up north to Penn State to Ohio State or something asinine like that. So they
Bama, Maryland, Wisconsin, Iowa, us, and then Oregon.
No, I'm saying not for Penn State. I'm saying for Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Oregon. That's what it was. That's brutal.
They go Bama, Maryland, Wisconsin, Iowa, us, and then Oregon.
Yeah, that's brutal.
So that's Penn State?
No, that's Wisconsin.
You're saying Wisconsin.
You're saying Wisconsin in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Who are you talking about?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin plays Alabama. Wisconsin plays Maryland. Wisconsin plays Michigan. Wisconsin plays Iowa. Wisconsin plays us. Wisconsin plays Oregon.
You kept saying
Luke. You heard it.
Saying Wisconsin instead of Michigan. You kept listing
instead of Michigan,
Wisconsin.
you were saying they face Wisconsin, and we were like they can't face Wisconsin.
Like they just have a scrimmage against each other. What do we?
Sorry,
all right. No.
Fuck Michigan.
So yeah, fuck Michigan.
I won't say the word. I won't say it.
So we
yeah,
basically drawn out that Wisconsin's going to have nothing coming into.
They're going to have several losses, but that could take down our worries about them. Like they could be a sneaker team by all means. And
they'll have nothing to lose, everything to gain.
And they're one of those teams that we kind of struggle with that are just going to jam the ball down your throat. And like now that we don't have Tyreek Williams clogging up the middle, that is definitely a concern for us. Like, yeah, that's not really a team that we're made to flourish against, you know?
Here's where it gets fun, boys. Penn State predictions. Boo, Drew Aller. Drew Aller is garbage against Ohio State. What do you guys think is going to happen against Penn State? Last time, Luke, that we watched a Penn State game together, I think Justin Fields threw for 400 yards. So what do you think about this season?
I think, first of all, I want to point out earlier, because all right, well, we already pointed out the two big games, which is Texas and that team up north. And I love that Penn State's like, no, Ohio State's our main rival. It's like, dude, shut up. You beat us like once a decade. Like, you guys are overall good, but shut up. You're not our rival. I think they're tough. Like, I think this is the most loaded Penn State team we've seen in a while. Really, all they're losing is Abdul Carter and Kevin Winston, their safety, which are big losses. But again, they reload on defense like nothing. They literally have everything back on offense. Again, their running backs are monsters. If Aller can figure out how to play football against us, then we could very well lose that game. I don't think we will. I am skeptic of that. I would predict like a 24-17 type game. Maybe, no, I think that's about right. 24-17, maybe 24-14, something like that, Bucks. But yeah, I just don't buy the Aller hype. I get it. I understand that he has all of these, arm strength, accuracy, this, that, the other. But you watch him play football, it doesn't do shit. Like, they probably should have beat Notre Dame. That interception he threw at the end of the game where it was like 20 seconds left and he's on his own 30 and he does a tiny little slant down the middle right to 2 defenders. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
I
he
just
plays
don't-
scared.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like deer in headlights, dude. Like he just kind of shits the bed when it comes down, when it comes down to it. Like I just don't trust him.
Aaron, what do you think?
As of right now, I think it's going to be close. I think it really, you were talking about ramifications of the first game. It is really going to depend. If Julian Sand comes out and blows out Texas, or even if we don't blow him out, but he has a 252 touchdown day and really comes into his own, Jeremiah Smith is going for 100 yards plus a game. When we get to Penn State, if we overload them on offense, I don't think Drew Aller has it in him to catch up. And I think we run away with it, and it's going to be a scoring day for us. But I think if this Texas game doesn't go how we want, even if we win, but it's on the ground, or Julian Sane just has 150 yards and a tutty, it's going to be a much closer game, and Drew Aller is going to have the chance to make some plays. Honestly, I like talking shit. Fuck Drew Aller. I don't think he has it in him. He is terrified to play us. He is throwing checkdowns and taking sacks. They're like, oh, he's 6'4" and runs a 4.3. Not in the pocket.
So
I
did
don't care.
Secretariat. Secretariat can throw a football.
Hey, can we? Is there a nickname for him now?
That's good.
Like,
Well, no, because Secretariat won.
that's a good distinction.
Wait, can we call him Bull? Somebody who just keeps
hang on.
falling short of what we think he's gonna be.
We don't talk shit about Bull. Bull wasn't put in the
Bull's
right
scared.
situation.
Gangly bastard, 7'6".
God.
If we struggle early, I think we give Drew Aller the opportunity to make a name for himself. And honestly, that'll piss me off more than anything. If Drew Aller goes in the top 10 picks next year, OSU failed. It's our job to make sure he looks like who he is and he drops to the third round.
Tank his draft stock.
My only goal for us this year is to make sure Drew Aller gets drafted, honestly, by the Browns.
Yeah.
4th round.
Fuck you.
Our
Fuck
7th
you.
quarterback on the roster now.
Honestly, I'll be fine if the Pack take him. He's a fine backup. He's an AJ McCarron.
No,
you
I
take him, and you're like, when you throw that check down to whoever B receiver we have.
All right, so as far as my predictions go, I made my schedule prediction about a week ago, and I had a lot of considerations going for these two games. One of my biggest considerations for Wisconsin is the fact that we face Illinois the week before them, who is returning 18 starters or something like that, like Lucas pulled earlier. And
Physical as hell, man.
It's a great team. It's a great team that we're going to face. It's a well-coached team, and those teams wear you down. I predicted we were going to win 45-24 in that game because I predict that the first half is going to be like a 21-14 game, and then we'll pull away. Third quarter, fourth quarter, I think we're going to have some breakout plays, and then that crushes a team like that has to wear you down. That crushes their spirit. If Jeremiah Smith gets an 85-yard touchdown reception, that just crushes everything they do as an offense and as a defense. They can't recover from that. So I figured that was going to be a tough game for us. So I thought going into Wisconsin, struggling in the first half against a team like Illinois, we were going to walk into that game. We were going to say, this is not our Purdue. I think we were going to walk in and say, look, we're going to punch Luke Fickell down. We might throw him out of a job, RIP. But as far as that goes, we're going to make Luke and that team look like Drew Aller, like we were talking about. I think that's going to be a 56-10 win over Wisconsin. And then,
we're going to pick him back.
59-0. Throw it back, dude.
Then we face Penn State. But here's the important thing. What happens between Wisconsin and Penn State? A bye week happens. Penn State does not have a bye week. We have a bye week. We know who James Franklin is. We know who Drew Aller is. We know them. It's going to be 34-24. We're going to go up. It's going to be 21-7 for a long time, and then we're going to score a few touchdowns. They're going to score two, 3 touchdowns late in the game, so it's going to look like it's a 10-point game. It's going to look like it's a 17-point game, but it's really going to be a 34-35-7 game. So I have 34-24 Ohio State in that game because they just lock up the trenches. They try to slow us down. It doesn't work, and Drew Aller throws mesh patterns at the line of scrimmage into the ground. We've seen what he does against Ohio State. And I'm not even saying against other teams, I've seen what he does. And we watched the first drive he played a few years ago and last year, and he threw 3 straight balls into the ground. Like guys 5 yards downfield, wide open, beat our corner, throws it into the ground. And I'm just sitting there. Me and Aaron were watching that game laughing. We were like, this guy sucks. They've got no chance. Like the first drive, he went out there and it just, his mental state, he looked like Daniel Jones. I mean, he was seeing more ghosts than Pet Sematary.
Broken.
No, you know who he actually is? I just put this together in live time, I swear to God. He is literally Will Levis, where he has all the measurable rocket arm, accurate, this, that, the other. And then he calls Hut and his brain just goes on fire and he does the dumbest thing fathomable. Like, he just isn't.
He is going to be another Josh Allen draft pick where they're like, look how big he is. He has a cannon. That's
literally what they said about Will Levis. They're like, if you look at his work ethic and how big he is, and this, that, the other, he's Josh Allen. And I was so excited last year. I watched him play game one. I'm like, oh my God, I want to die.
No, you know who he is? You know who he is? It's not even that. He's the guy from Memphis. Who's that guy from Memphis?
Paxton Lynch.
Broncos legend. Back up to Peyton Manning. Paxton Lynch. Another poll from Luke today. Brother.
Yeah, first round pick for God knows what reason. Yeah.
Oh, that guy was a horse.
I hope him and his family are doing well.
Yeah, do you think that like all the obviously shouldn't have been first round picks, like have a little group chat, like him and Brock Osweiler just chopping it up? Like,
yeah, they're like, yeah, I sold a really great Dodge Charger this week. And,
2016 got a 3 APR LA.
Yeah. Oh my God, he came with cash. I got him to get into a 2022 Optima.
You guys got it wrong. They are not selling Chargers. They're selling Nissan Altimas. You know exactly who Nissan goes for
Aaron,
general managers.
They're not at that Charger level. They're the Ultima.
They're like, yeah. So, anyways, if you just get it back by Friday, Enterprise won't have to charge you anything else. No, I swear, you're gonna want the glass protection. Anyway, it was nice to meet you. I'm Jamarcus Russell. You guys have a great day.
Oh God. Speaking of which, who's going to be the biggest bust of this draft class?
Drew Aller.
Yeah, really though. Like, it's a lazy choice, but it's kind of the best one.
I didn't. When I asked that, I didn't think how easy the answer was, and the answer was that easy. So now we're going to move on.
I'm trying to think of who else it could be. Like, I don't know.
I feel like there's not as many huge draft capital players this year. Because is Carnell Tate draft eligible?
He is. And I was trying to look that up. Is Julian Sayin a true sophomore this year? I think he's a redshirt sophomore.
I think he was redshirted.
True sophomore.
So technically he could leave.
No. True sophomore. He was a redshirt freshman.
Okay. You're right, because he went to Alabama early. So he was early in the league, but that's not counting towards his overall tenure. Okay. Okay, that's good.
All right, so now we're moving on. Oh, Aaron's got something to say. Go ahead.
Real quarterback, like perennial quarterback powerhouses right now. All of them just left. Like,
yeah.
Who else is there? Nico Yamaleva? Amaliva?
I mean, come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Nico Amaliva?
Draws here, man. Like, I don't know.
JJ McCarthy in other colors.
Are you telling me that guy who's 6'6" and we broke his fucking helmet when he tried to run against us? You telling me that he's going to be something?
Yeah, we don't bring that up. That was probably targeting. We don't talk about that.
Hey, we play real man football. Targeting sick.
Listen, we're allowed to get all the targets we want with how many we get called for.
I mean, yeah.
Watching
Marvin Harrison Jr. die in the end zone without a call.
Dude.
You got some chicken and you didn't tell me? Hurt my feelings.
Something Holland, the guy or Javon Bullard, I think was the safety that made that big hit on Marv, came back and like posted it saying like Buckeye Crowns. Like, dude, fuck you. The only reason you won that game is because you took out the best player on a cheap ass, clear targeting hit. Oh God, I can.
Yeah.
That's up a whole can of worms.
I just want you guys both to think about the fact that my Browns should have beat the Chiefs without a targeting call 1 year, and then the next year, my Buckeyes should have beat the Bulldogs without that missed targeting call. 2 straight years, my teams lost their seasons because of a non-call target in the end zone that resulted in a scoring or non-scoring play.
I can one up you there. I'm not trying to be the one.
No,
up
you go ahead. You go ahead. What upper?
Absolutely can, dude. All right. So the year before, I started dating this girl, and I asked her out,
Gross.
like, we dating on New Year's, not thinking, because that was the year that we missed the playoffs and we played Utah. The Utes, where-
Holy shit! What a game!
The JSN game. What, at 311 yards?
yards.
314 or something.
Yeah. So I wasn't thinking about, like, hey, if I ask her on this day, what's going to be the next year? It's the playoffs. It wasn't top of mind, right? So the next year, of course, we come back, we play Georgia, and her family is not a football family. They don't give a shit about it. Like, I had to go out of the way to, like, hook up a stream to let me watch the game. Like, I was making it a whole thing. Like, I was not going to not watch the game. Oh, no. I will go to a bar by myself without you. I don't give a shit. And mind you, it's our anniversary, our 1-year anniversary. Terrible timing. As fate would have it, like, again, they don't give a damn about it. I'm sitting there crazy intense. They think I'm a goddamn lunatic. As fate would have it, the missing kick where whatever his name is, Siebert, I don't even remember what it was, just
Doesn't matter.
A million
Doesn't
yards.
matter.
Oh my god, he had a fucking stupid ass
Doesn't
name
matter.
too. Ruggles.
Literally.
Noah Ruggles.
Noah
Fucking
Ruggles.
Ruggles. Oh,
Fucking-
God.
And he had the best.
It's like
He would show up.
Oh, God. Yeah,
He would
go
show
on.
up to camp every year with a photo of himself from the year camp before, and it was like an
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Inception photo. And I thought he was the coolest guy in the world. And when dude, I was at Jonathan's bar right outside Bicentennial Park. Zach Brown band was playing for New Year's Eve, and I walked down to Jonathan's to watch it on the TV. And I'm standing at the bar in my Ohio State jersey, and I've got 20 people around me who are not Ohio State fans, but they have
nobody
bets that Ohio State would win. So we're all standing, shoulders locked, covering the entire bar as we line up for this kick. And I was like, "You got it, Noah. You're my dog." And then 30 seconds later, we were all just on the bar holding our heads. And I didn't lose any money, but there were guys there that they were like, "Oh, I got 500 on OSU winning this game," and then they lost the bet, and he was next to me.
Luke,
And I
what were
was
you
like,
saying?
I did lose 16 grand on the Bama Ohio State game, so that was sick. But
Wait,
that
did
wasn't
you
even
lose 16 grand or lose the
Huh?
opportunity for 16 grand?
opportunity for, but I lost 4
Okay,
grand.
okay.
I lost 4 grand. still.
4
But that's-
grand?
4 grand?
2 wars? You telling me there are 2 wars happening right now? The way the story ends, so I'm sitting there just stressed as shit. Midnight, as fate would have it, midnight strikes as Noah Ruggles, with the most whimsical name of all, misses and rips out my goddamn heart. My ex comes over for a midnight kiss. I literally just rip off and start going, fuck, and run to the next room. And like literally just like sit there in solitude for 10 minutes. Like just try to get myself together so I'm not just the biggest ass in front of her entire family. And then came back, I'm like, hey guys, sorry about that. I kind of want to die, but it's fine. What were we talking about? You want your midnight kiss, sweetie? And I was just in the doghouse for like 2 months. Like,
Dude, how crazy is it that that's happened to us twice? With my ex, we were at a New Year's party when we lost to Clemson at midnight.
Oh, those are the 2 worst losses I can think of, dude. Like literally, maybe
Literally the most painful. We at that house, we were in college on campus, had 2 TVs going with the game and the ball drop. And literally as the ball was coming down, we lost to Clemson. And when the ball hit 0, the whole room was silent. And I was like, we should drink.
Yeah. like, sorry, sweetie, we're not doing the New Year's kiss. We're gonna.
No one look at me. We got to drink now.
Yeah.
Versus Georgia, we had a bunch of people over. The kick missed. It was dead silent for 3 seconds. I flipped it over to the ball drop, and it already happened. And I was like, yeah, this night's ruined. Let's drink.
Yeah. This year sucks already. Like literally, what
Fuck
the
this.
terrible, fathomable way to start a year, right there, and it's happened to us both. God has some vendetta against Aaron and I. You're a dick, dude. Stop doing this shit.
Hear me out. Hear me out. I got a way to make college kicking fixed. Hear me out.
Eliminated.
No. No. Kickers are only on the field for like what, 1/20th of plays, right? So what
That's
if we made eligibility for kickers 12 years?
Well,
I'm listening.
why would they want to stay that long? Wouldn't some of them want to go in the NFL?
Well,
Not with
because-
NIL money.
No, one of two things happens. They either one, get good enough to go to the NFL, or two, they get a doctorate and they become really successful and profitable in society.
You're just assuming that they're smart, dude. Just because, like, when
Yeah.
Have you met
You're
kickers,
thinking
dude? No, have you met
dumbass-
kickers? No,
not all Aaron Kraft,
I was a
brother.
sports
Not all Aaron
journalist. I
Kraft.
promise you, kickers and punters are the wisest asses. They're the funniest people you have ever met in your entire life, because all they sit there during practice do is they go practice 15 field goals and punts, and then they sit in a golf cart and they drive around the practice talking shit to all the players the entire rest of the day. So if you watch Shane Gillis and you think he's funny, if you just put a fucking mic on these kickers and punters, I promise you that would be the funniest podcast. By the way, Ohio State, if anybody watches this, put our kicker and punter on there. First of all, so we can worship them for being funny, and second of all, so if that happens again, we can crucify them again.
Mic them up.
Mic them up, bro. Every time a kicker gets mic'd up, bro, look, they mic'd up Pat McAfee for the game that he had the 78-yard punt that went out of bounds at the 1-yard line, and then on the next drive, he had the surprise onside kick that he recovered. He was mic'd up for both. And that was bro, when he hit that 78-yard punt to the 1-yard line and then did the pitching wedge 3/4 swing where he took it back a little further and then hit. When that happened, as a golfer, I was losing it because I was just sitting there. I was like, this guy just knocked it 2 feet to the pin and then did a golf shot on this thing. I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
If we mic them up, you're going to hear the craziest Aussie shit you've ever heard. They're going to go full bogan out here talking some crazy Aussie rules football.
You know what's crazy is if you mic up the Big Ten, then it's going to be all Aussie rules football. It's going to be the funniest shit. They're all going to be talking about really smart topics and everything. And if you mic up the SEC, it's going to have to go on Truth Social.
This one's Kamala. Take this, Lambs. Make fun of me for not being able to read, God damn it.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. I should not assume that they're all smart. I went to Ohio State. So, I mean, I was in a Big Ten school in a highly ranked educational institution. So the kicker and punter there had to meet a certain GPA requirement and get into the school. If we're talking about Georgia and Bama, we're talking about BFE mofos out there.
Do you remember Gordon Gee's absolutely legendary quote? This was back in, like, 2010-ish when there was all these talks about conference realignment, this, that, the other. And then a reporter asked him about, like, how about the SEC coming over? How about Bama, Georgia, whatever it is? He goes, yeah, we'll consider them once they learn how to read and write. Fucking legends, dude. And then they asked about Notre Dame. He's like, oh, yeah, the Catholics, they're holy on Sunday and holy hell the rest of the week. Like, the guy was just shooting from
Dude, Gordon Gee's my hero. That dude would show up to frat parties with his little bow tie, and he would act like he doesn't see the drink, and he would just walk around campus and walk in parties, be like, "I'm Gordon Gee. I'm the president."
We'd wear bow ties around.
I remember he was just sitting outside on the bench, just like letting people come up and chitty chat about whatever. Like, guy was just the man with his adorable little bow tie, but also just talking shit about everyone else. Fucking firing from that.
Dude, what if in 5 to 10 years we get a Tressel OSU presidency? Because he's president of Youngstown State, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. The good old Penguins, where it all started for him. I don't know. I mean, honestly, outside of Gordon Gee, I didn't really care about our presidents. Like, we had Drake, and he was fine. The funniest part about Drake is when he tried to put out that message where it was like, you know, you guys can't do the OHIO, rip their fucking head off. And as an
which, by the way, is in College Football 26.
Yeah,
it's
I heard
in
that.
College Football 26. I sent you the thing.
Yeah, that was you. Universally, as a community, we're all like, "No, fuck you, dude. Like, we're gonna do it louder now. Like, you made a monster, buddy. Like, we will never stop doing this."
Dude, I think
rip his fucking head off and take his shoe.
I think that's one of the only things, despite all of our tradition, everything about OSU that we love, we don't have enough of those student body traditions. We should be like a fucking Premier League soccer team out here. We have so much history, so much tradition. We should be out here singing intricate songs about these fucking
Hang on,
enemy
Sloopy
teams.
sucks.
We have like 9/10
Hang on, Sloopy
of
sucks.
the steps of being a cult.
Fuck you.
More
Sloopy's
fun.
my fucking hero.
Yeah, dude, stop. I knew you were gonna go there, dude. I
Hang
fucking
in
knew
there,
you.
buddy. It's the fucking kitten on the telephone wire hanging in there on all the corporate posters, on all that corporate jargon. That is what hang on, Sloopy. And then the team up north has Mr. Brightside, and then Tennessee has a song about
Mr.
murdering
Brightside's
two.
about being cucked, dude.
It's about a man getting cucked and being real sad about it. I'm gonna write a song about this. Like,
He's
dude,
not even happy about being cucked. That takes all of the fun out of it.
And
Yeah,
then Tennessee,
dude, you're in the hotels there for it. Yeah.
Tennessee has a song about murdering two federal investigators.
Yeah.
And then Alabama sings a song about fucking a girl against the wall in a bathroom. Like, and then by the way,
but they
during,
gotta live in Tennessee and Alabama.
oh,
And also think
I
about
live
their-
in Tennessee. I promise. If I didn't live in
They
Nashville,
got
I don't know
scurvy
what.
from that action, dude. They got scurvy from that sexual experience. But it is still kind of cool. So.
Well, you can't get scurvy when you are scurvy, can you?
We'll just spread their scurvy around more. So thanks.
Listen, my sister, cousin, and wife doesn't want to hear what you're talking about, Alabama. Anyway, so all right. So for the next segment, we're gonna do rapid fire, guys. This is a classic Rome is burning concept, and obviously we lost Rome is burning, and that's the reason I kind of wanted to do this. I thought it would be fun to host a panel like this, and it has been extremely fun. First episode of many, it seems, because this has gone extremely well so
Speak
far.
for
and it's
yourself.
fun
You
to
had a
do.
terrible time. Anyways.
Fuck
Hey,
you.
hey,
Yeah.
listen.
Tell us where
First buy or sell. First buy or sell. Do you buy or sell? Ryan Day is the head coach of Ohio State in 2030.
Bye.
Bye.
Both of you buy. Go ahead. Aaron, we're going to start with you because we've been starting with Luke. Go ahead.
With a natty, he's bought himself at least 5 years, even if it all goes to shit. A national championship, you could be fingering a blonde in a bar, and we still want you back, dude.
Nice Urban Meyer reference, the Chop House, but go on,
Shocker.
Luke.
Also, by in the sense that, keep this in mind, which is crazy. His tenure, Ryan Days, is actually going to surpass Urban Meyer's tenure within the next year. So this season, like, the next few months.
Another poll. Oh, he is cooking over here.
Someone
They're
did his
not bad.
homework.
Yeah, they're not even my ideas. I just watch a lot of Ohio State Twitter, so that's it. But,
Yeah, that's why we're here, buddy.
yeah, that's right. So that's for one. Two, I just don't think he would leave for the NFL. Like, if he was going to leave for the NFL, it would have been last year. He had 3 straight years of losing to Michigan. He had a team come back that most of these people hadn't committed to coming back. He had the Bears opening. He had Chargers opening. Like, there were several roles where there are actual pieces that you could make sense for an NFL roster to come in and actually like guide the right direction. I don't foresee him getting bored of this shit. Like, I think he truly does love the Buckeyes. Maybe that's my scarlet-colored glasses. Who knows? I think he's in it for the long haul. So yeah, I just don't see it. I think last year was the best opportunity for him to leave possible.
All
Instead
great
of keeping
points. All great
national
points. But you mentioned that losing to Michigan these 4 straight times now is.
Dude, I know, and like,
No,
listen,
just hold on. But you mentioned that as a reason that it would be good to go. On the other hand, if he comes back and he beats them, and then he gets a big NFL offer, what if he beats Michigan and wins a national championship this year? Does he go?
I still don't see it, man. People act like he never beat Michigan. He beat Michigan his first 2 times as a coach. What about he was a severe underdog and came and kicked their ass? Then he won again. Then they surrendered and decided not to play us the COVID year.
Oh, the
And-
surrender. Thank you for bringing that up. I was not going to think about that.
And then
Fuck
they
you,
cheated.
Michigan.
And then
You
they cheated for
cheating,
years.
surrendering motherfuckers.
They
Anyway.
cheated for 2 or 3 years straight, and then they actually beat us this last year fair and square. I won't deny that.
That sucks.
Like,
We also had the year that our entire team had COVID and didn't
Yeah.
report it.
yeah, literally. No, and then or the national championship game where Bama's players clearly had COVID, as did Clemson's. None of them reported it, and then we did and had half our team goddamn sitting. But anyways, besides the point. Yes, I think it comes back. I absolutely think it does. But is there a chance he leaves? By all means. I just don't think like this whole he's never beaten Michigan. Yes, he has. He's gone on a really shitty little streak for an abundance of different reasons and uncontrolled variables. But no, I don't see that being like, okay, I've accomplished all I can here. I think he's trying to be like no, dude, I'm going to be a fucking legend here. Like, I want to have 4 natties here. Like, that's what I think he's going for.
All right, so
Again,
you guys are both buying Ryan Day as the head coach of Ohio State football in 2030. So that will play into a question that I have coming up as our final buy and sell. But for our second buy and sell, we have Ohio State wins the game this year. Do you guys buy or sell that idea?
Bye.
I gotta buy, dude. I can't sell that. I'm not.
Luke was really timid about buying that. Are you afraid
I
of Bryce
can't
Underwood?
not buy it, dude. Part of me is like, well, if I sell, maybe it's reverse juju and it'll jinx it. Like, I don't know, dude. I just want to win the game really fucking bad.
Oh, so you hesitated as like an alternative bet to try to cover yourself.
It was a strategic juju move. I was
a little
trying to figure out if
strategery
I
right there.
sell, then maybe God will be like, all right, he's not biased, so I'll finally give him a damn win.
I am buying Ohio State beating that team up north this year. I don't want to hear any juju. I don't want to hear anything. We are going to smoke they asses. We're going to walk them back all the way home and show them who's daddy. And we're going to win the next 8 years on top of that because I think that Ryan Day is going to stick around. Now, do you guys buy and sell that Ohio State will land a top 3 recruiting class again?
Bye.
This year or just in general?
This year.
Bye. Why wouldn't we?
Sell.
We have money. We have the coaching staff. We have.
Are we talking about the upcoming class or the one that ends in January here?
We are talking about the one that ends in January, the one for the 2026 season, where the freshmen would be coming in the 2027 season.
So we do a lot of dumb shit where we don't over recruit. A lot of people like Georgia, the number 1 class right now, has 31 commits, right? We have 21. Everyone else gets all of these commits and then just kind of lets them be, roster casualties, yada, yada. We've never really acclimated to that. So A, that puts us at a disadvantage. B, we're at 9th overall right now. C, we are playing the NIL game too cautious because they had such ambiguous rules that we were kind of waiting for them to kind of, hash themselves out so we didn't get in hot water. Everyone else is just going gung-ho with it, saying, fuck it, let's get whoever we can. Let's kind of operate in the gray and kind of capitalize on that. And we're playing it cautious, which has put us behind the 8 ball, which is why we've missed out on, I think, 5 of 6 of the top defensive ends we've gone after. So, I think for the first time in probably 5 or so years, we're going to miss the top 3 for sure, maybe even top 5.
We not being 9th now, that's another poll, Luke. You're fucking crushing it out here with the polls. Aaron, top 3 recruiting class you bought, so go ahead.
I think returning coaching staff, we have a younger team upcoming, but that means that there's opportunity for these kids coming in. I think we've done really well getting star players through the portal, but that we're filling our team with homegrown, and I think there's a good chance that a lot of these recruits are looking at that, knowing we're a national championship competing team and that we're a perennial playoff team. And this is, if you want to go to the NFL, this is where you need to be. So I think, especially if we start opening floodgates on money, there's nothing to keep kids out of here.
I'm going to go
Dude,
with
I think if it goes next year, then I think we're absolutely top 3, could be top 1, because the NIL stuff is starting to clarify more, and we have the biggest, treasure chest there is, right? Or war chest, whatever you want to call it. But
second biggest. I have to say second biggest.
I feel like we should be talking about why the Big Ten is not widely considered the best conference now. Like the SEC is still in these conversations.
Literally,
right, so buy sell, new buy sell, not in the script. The Big Ten is the best conference in NCAA football.
Yeah. It's like he's listening to this, man.
I know. He was there, I guess. Obviously.
Absolutely buy. Absolutely buy. Only reason it's not already widely accepted is because the SEC propaganda machine that is ESPN, they signed a
bomb
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we were ranking Big Ten teams at the same that we rank SEC teams, Minnesota, Wisconsin, even Northwestern is perennially okay. These teams are the same as like a South Carolina or Ole Miss. Ole Miss has been good the last few years. But...
Yep.
Well, until Northwestern was, they struggled a little bit because they were making the Orchard. They were they were growing grapes out there. So
Yeah.
they struggled with that for a few years, but I think they're going to come back from that.
Yeah, but even when they were ranked well, they were ranked like 20th. 21st.
And they would only
No.
there at
You
the
got
end
to
of the
remember.
season when
You
they
got to
were
remember.
9-2.
Northwestern made a Big Ten championship in a year that Ohio State did not.
Yeah, what does that mean?
All I'm
I
saying
remember the one
is
where
they
we beat
have
them
the
with
potential.
Ray Sermon going crazy, but I'm trying to remember the one where they made it. We didn't.
It was 4 years ago when we lost to Michigan, so we didn't make the Big Ten championship. So they went to face some Big Ten team. It doesn't matter because they weren't Ohio State. I didn't watch it.
True. They don't count.
I did. They're a very boring team.
Was it Wisconsin?
No, because Northwestern, if it's 4 years ago, that's one of those East and West divisions.
Yeah, it would have been Penn State, I think.
Oh,
That
so it
was.
was Penn State. So you have boring versus garbage and boring. All right. So for the final one that we're going to go to on buy or sell, you guys had talked about how you think Ryan Day is going to stick around no matter what. On that note, I want to ask you guys, do you buy or sell that the next head coach of the Ohio State football team, the Buckeyes, is Brian Hartline?
I sell.
That's tough. It depends on timeline.
I think it very well could be. I think it very well probably should be. But again, yeah, Luke's right. Timeline, I think Marcus Freeman is itching to come home. He's never said shit about us. He has been overly respectful and just keeping his hometown crowd happy.
All right, so you guys are selling that Brian Hartline becomes the next head coach of the Ohio
For
State
now,
Buckeyes.
if it's within the next 5 years, sell. If it's within the next 10 years, I'm closer to buying. But
I think there's two options. I don't think Marcus Freeman is the next head coach of Ohio State. I think that's a great concept. But the only reason I don't think so is I think one of two things happens. I think Ryan Day either commits to the NCAA and he says, I'm not going to the NFL, and he's our head coach until he retires. And he just goes on a Mac Brown, Texas-style run until we just have to kind of kick him out at the end of it, which could last 20 years because look at his age. The other idea that you have is within 2 to 3 years, you have him leave. So that's the reason I don't think it's going to be Marcus Freeman. I think it's either Brian Hartline is lined up to be it, or I think Brian Hartline is going to follow the Luke Fickell path. And the other thing that I don't know about is Brian Hartline has been very, very content. Brian Hartline has plenty of money. He was an NFL player. He played for plenty of years. He also has plenty of notoriety in the city of Columbus, Ohio. So when we talk about people like Craig Krenzel, who are owners of Lexus and Nissan dealerships in the state of Ohio, in the city of Columbus, I think he has plenty of opportunity to stay local because he has kids. So I don't necessarily know if this guy's one of those guys. He might want to be a head coach. He might say, I'm going to be the greatest offensive coordinator that has ever come to Ohio State University, and I'm going to get the best wide receivers every single year. Look at me, Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka. You're talking about Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka. You were also talking about Jeremiah Smith. You were talking about Carnell Tate. You were talking about all. You could go back to Terry McLaurin, brother, when he was the wide receivers coach. You can go back to Michael Thomas when he first got brought on as an associate.
Look what happened when
team.
Julian Fleming left.
Yep.
Well,
Brandon Innes, another 5-star. Carnell Tate, another 5-star. Like, it's literally the top receiver every class. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, and the one thing I go back and forth because he might want to be a head coach, but I also consider he's kind of stayed lenient in his asks of Ohio State. So I don't know if he's just being a homer and he says, "Look, I have $30 million in my bank account liquid. That doesn't include my investments. That doesn't include my portfolios. That doesn't include my businesses. I can live at Muirfield. I can own a whole house on Muirfield, golf at Muirfield whenever I want, have my kids hang out at the resort there, and I can be the assistant and offensive coordinator to the offensive football program of Ohio State, and I don't have to leave. I can just live this life because yes, notoriety, being a head coach, getting up there with the Sabins, getting up there with all these different people is a thing that he could aspire to. But he could also become Luke Fickell. He could move to another city. He could move to another state, and he could see it kind of kind of wear down on as far as his happiness goes. So I don't know. He seemed like a guy. He stayed with us when he got offers to be head coaches 2 years ago. He stayed with us when he got offers to be a head coach a year ago. He stayed with us throughout this entire thing. I'm kind of wondering the concept. He's a local guy. He's an Ohio guy. He went to Ohio State. He played in the NFL. I'm kind of wondering, is he just going to stick around and be the right-hand guy? The way Lane Kiffin could have been to Nick Saban.
Tom Herman.
Oh, my God, Tom Herman. Look, great pull, Aaron. Does he want to be Tom Herman? Look at Tom Herman. Look at Luke Fickell. They could have stayed at Ohio. If Tom Herman would have stayed at Ohio State, he could be pulling in $2 billion a year in a fresh mansion, living at whatever place he wanted, and pulling in rings every single year.
He crashed out at Texas, then he crashed out at Houston, then he crashed out at Florida International or Florida Atlantic.
No, I will give him credit. He went to Houston. He did not crash out. He went to Houston.
He went to Houston first.
And he did great. And then he went to Texas. And part of that is Texas is Ohio State. He had a bad year, and he had a bad start to the second year. And his system is not their system. That was going to take 3 years. I don't think he got a fair shot. I'm not necessarily saying I think Tom Herman failed. But the thing is, if you're Brian Hartline, you can't guarantee that if you go to a spot, they're not going to do the same thing and say, we're giving you a year and 2 games. And if you don't turn it around in that time, we don't give a shit what you've done in the past. We're going to kick you out. And then you're on your ass. You're not pulling in any money. You end up like Lane Kiffin, going to 6 different colleges before you end up getting the chance that you actually want again. So there's all the buy and sells. And for the final verdict, I think we've decided, Ohio State is a top 3 program. They're a top 5 program. They're not going anywhere. I think Ryan Day is going to stick around. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think there's any opportunity to go to the NFL, because if he does go to the NFL, who's he going to go to? Is he going to go to the Giants? Is he going to go to the Jets? He's going to go to the Jaguars. He's going to get offers from teams like Urban Meyer got offers from teams, and none of those teams are the teams he's not going to get an offer to go to Green Bay. He's not going to get an offer to go to the Patriots. He's not Mike Vrabel. So I think he's going to stick around. I think we're a top 3 team. I think we're a perennial top 3 team and a top 3 program for the next 15 years, because I think Ryan Day sticks around for those. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
100%. I think we had the huge monkey on our back that we were basically the 49ers of college football. We're always right there. We're always a loaded roster, powerhouse team, yada, yada, but can't get it done. So that's always going to be your top 3, but, that but's gone away. I know it's been 10 years since we've done it prior, but it's gone away, man. And we're set up to do it again. So absolutely top 3, set up for long-term success by all means.
Hell yeah. Well,
I have to piss so bad, but my
Been
dark horse
time.
is Miami. I think Miami is going to get a lot of NIL money, a lot of that Florida money funneling down to the U. Yeah, I don't fucking like him, but honestly, the U shit, pretty cool.
It's pretty sick, dude. They were sick back in the early 2000s, 90s before we broke their entire program in 2002, that triple overtime game.
02, I got it on the wall.
Beautiful.
And
It was a beautiful day.
I think
Glorious
my
day.
dark horse is a horse. It's SMU, brother. Because look at the money they have.
For me, top 3
No, Doc. I'm talking.
here.
He's talking about Miami. Miami is not going to be a top 3 program in the next 5 years. You're looking at 7 to 10 years for that program. And I think SMU. Listen to the only reason I say this. SMU has. Am I allowed to say this on the programs this is going on?
What are you gonna say? I can't.
Blackstone money. Yeah, they have unlimited money. So I don't know if you guys have seen how much money has been put into their football program over the last 6 months.
Israel's money.
Oh, no. Oh, we made it so far. We made it so far. Oh, we made it so far. And now we're going to get canceled by both sides. Holy shit.
Also,
Yeah,
Boeing killed those whistleblowers.
Epstein
All right.
obviously didn't kill himself. All right, we have to really just round it all out.
Obviously, he's still alive. You saw the drone photos that came out of him. On that note, thank you
And that's
guys
what I
for
meant.
watching the first Buckeyes and Backfields podcast here with my good friends Luke Cook and Aaron Carmen. I am your host, Matt Connor, and we will be back again soon to introduce you to our other panelist, Mr. Drew Mannion. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and go Bucks. OH.
Go Bucks. IO. Fuck Michigan.
Fuck Michigan always. Eat shit and die. Low-key.